We are meant to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird.
Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre.
Stories of the supernatural, the supernormal, dramatized in fantasy, the mystery, the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginary plays, we urge you calmly, sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
This is The Horror. Thanks for joining me this Saturday. We're going to hear from Beyond Midnight this week. South African series that aired from November of 1968 to April of 1970, produced 78 episodes for South Africa's Springbok radio station. Our episode today is based on a short story by Colin Brooks titled Mrs. Smith. Beyond Midnight calls it Little Happenthatch. This one aired May 23rd, 1969.
It was not until the third morning of my visit that I noticed a peculiarity about her. Until then, apart from her quite striking natural beauty, she had seemed as commonplace a rural type as one would expect a young widow named Mrs. Bert Smith to be. Yes, I said Mrs. Bert Smith, 2 F's. A score of villages, dozens of hamlets could no doubt have matched her with more than comely young matronly women of just her kind and breeding. Mrs. Smith. How could I know, when first I arrived at the parsonage at Little Happenthatch, that this lady would provide me with the strangest, most inexplicable experience of my entire life? The happenings of that summer are still unexplained. There is no answer, at least not one that would satisfy a gentleman of science. 3 summer weeks I intended to spend at Little Happenthatch. On the third day, the mystery of Mrs. Smith began, and the events did not reach their frightening conclusion until 20 days had passed. And on that 20th day, it was long beyond midnight.
Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder, presents Beyond Midnight by Michael McKay.
Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex.
If you have wondered how to get your washing really stain-free, understand this. Biotex removes the stains and dirt washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Stains, grass stains, tiresome collar and cuff stains, ingrained dirt, soil and grime. Out they all come, and you don't stir a finger.
Just soak in Biotex.
Biotex with natural enzymes is the pre-wash powder with the most enzymes to give you extra pre-wash power. Absolutely no rubbing, no color loss, no fabric wear. Use it for cottons, silks, woolens, synthetics. Use it to make new again. Soaking in Biotex removes the stains and dirt, but washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Work. There's always work.
Yes, sir. Is there anything else, sir?
No, I don't think so. Coffee looks hot. Hello, thank you very much. Oh, you might ask Bentley to let me have a decent wine at lunch, dear.
Certainly, sir.
I say, my dear cousin keeps a fine cellar. Enjoy yourself, he told me. Run amok. That I shall not do. For the working holiday must be spiced, Mrs. Smith. So, Each and every lunch, wine.
Yes, sir.
She left me then. She crossed the room from my desk to the door, passing through the beams of sunlight which streamed in through the tall vicarage drawing-room windows. In her transit, she moved with her hand a tall back chair which was slightly in her way. As she moved the chair, I noticed with no amazement, and then with an abrupt shock of surprise, that, unlike everything else between me and the window, she cast no shadow. My arrested glance revealed another and almost grotesque thing about her. She was wearing a thin muslin frock, which, on that sunny day, I suspected had precious little under it. As she stood in the path of that strong morning light, under her frock, her sturdy but shapely legs were outlined like something on a child's shadowgraph, making her for the moment slightly comic or provocative, according to the mood of the viewer.
Your cousins are right one, sir. No fooling. Best vicar we ever had here. And my memory goes back, 40 years or more. And that's a fully grown adult person, let alone when I was a nipper and all. Capital vicar, and what a name for a vicar. Roger Vickery. Saving you, Reverend. So, what have you come to Happenthatch for, then, Doctor? That's if you've no objection to me asking.
Not at all, not at all. I needed peace and quiet to finish my book. Roger's parsonage seemed the ideal spot, especially as he's away.
Oh, book, eh? Oh. What's the book called, sir? Maybe me and the missus can get it out of the library when it's printed.
Well, it's called The Epistemological Implications of Practical Psychiatry. That's just a working title, you understand.
Of course, sir. Yes. A drink, sir? Nice pipe.
You have one with me, Peter. Listen, when I was here last, I can't remember seeing Mrs. Smith. How long's my cousin had her working for him?
Smith, sir? Oh, Mrs. Smith. Oh, where's the quiet one? Hey, can't rightly recall when I come here. Oh, excuse me. Rolf Mayo down there wants another one. He's had too many already, but business is business. Always in the
Nobody at the Cases Altered, where I took ale twice a day, could tell me much about Roger's housekeeper, Mrs. Smith. She was, it appeared, so quiet and self-effacing that hardly anyone noticed her. Perhaps I shouldn't myself if I hadn't noticed. My first thought was immediate. She was a whole, solid person. Her limbs could have struck the sunlight, but cast no shadow. I thought of stories of my childhood. The peasant girl whose shadow wouldn't dance, the man who sold his shadow, etc., etc. But Mrs. Smith, with 2 F's, who didn't have a shadow at all. At the first opportunity, I decided to work a little experiment. If she had no shadow, had she any reflection? Thank you. Same old news, I dare say. Never changes, does it? Would you mind passing me the pipe there on the mantelpiece? No, the curly one. The ugly mirror on the mantelpiece probably dated back to about 1880. Yet it sufficed to show me Mrs. Smith's pretty face and throat, while she searched for the pipe I wanted. Thank you. I've got to admit I was relieved, for I've always had an uncomfortable feeling that there may be something in the saying that you won't know you're dead until you look into a mirror and see no reflection.
Well, like a woman there did, a wounded woman. But when I went to pick her up, vanished her ass.
Mark, Long Bill there thinks he shot a witch in the wood last night.
A witch? Good gracious.
Nay, Doctor, I didn't say her were a witch. I just said her made a noise like a woman and vanished. But this be a place for witches, or was once on a time. My old grandfather remembered hunting they witches. Well, why did he do that? Law won't let you burn them anymore. Can't burn them, but you can run them out of the neighborhood by peaceful means, of course. Yeah, come to that. There were a witch burnt in up there long ago, no more than 200 years. Yeah, my old grandfather often spoke of it, from his old grandfather.
Oh, a lot of queer grandfathers in the Barlow family. Well, there's no point in running witches out. They would come back again.
Aye, they always come back. That's why it was better to burn them when the law said you could.
Bloodthirsty, aren't they?
Oh, now you can burn them proper and do right by the ashes, they don't come back.
I have heard that proper appointed persons like Vicar, this gentleman's cousin here, our Vicar, I have heard that these persons have means of exorcising witches.
Exercising, eh?
Aye, taking the evil spirits out of them. I reckon many a witch has gone to paradise through being exorcised.
Yeah. Spread it out on them, like. On the hands down, 4 to 14 times. Or knees up by the brown. Oh, I like the exercising of a female witch, I would.
Oh, it's a right one, that one, isn't it?
Was there really a witch burnt here, Jeffers?
Oh, not in my time.
Oh, I thought you'd been doctor here for at least 200 years.
No. Last one to be burnt, I believe, was Dornoch in Scotland, in the reign of one of the Georges. Oh, I'm no expert in these matters, sir. I'm just a rural GP, not a witch doctor. Stop in sometime, Mark. Have a little strengthening in the coffee with me.
I'd love to, thanks. On Sundays, it was the custom at the parsonage for the inmate to prepare his own tea and have Mrs. Smith back to make supper in lieu of dinner. The arrangement suited me all right. Actually, I have to confess that I'd grown to take pleasure from merely watching Mrs. Smith move about the place. After the Sunday morning talk of witches in the pub, I discreetly watched Roger's housekeeper prepare my supper. I noticed that one of her wrists was bandaged. Had an accident? She made a motion as if to hide the injured hand.
Oh, 'twas nothing, sir. Mishap rather than an accident.
Oh? I suppose you're not a native of these parts, Mrs. Smith?
My husband was, sir.
How did you lose him?
Doctor said some kind of seizure, sir. He was found dead one morning in Rolton Wood.
One morning? You mean he'd been there all night? What a worrying time for you.
Oh, no, sir. He was off and out all night.
What was he?
He was a junior keeper at the Hall, sir. It was thought at first he might have been shot or killed in some way by poachers, sir, but, well, no one gave much ear to that. Besides, poachers are fearful of hauntings, sir.
Haunting?
Murdered men come back, sir, and the dead ride fast. No, my Bert's death was what the coroner calls natural causes. Though they did say...
Yes, they did say.
Some said he'd been bewitched to his death. I went away for a time, but I came back.
Fortunately for me, Mrs. Smith, you make me very comfortable. And she smiled and crossed the room. And although the lamps were turned well up, no shadow accompanied her to the door.
I feel like a new man. It's a lovely day today.
I thought you had flu.
I took a Grandpa headache powder, and I'm well better. When colds and flu are about, Grandpa headache powders are what you need. Grandpa headache powders work fast because they dissolve almost immediately. Grandpa makes all those dreadful flu symptoms disappear quickly. So, whenever you're in pain, get fast relief. Get Grandpa headache powder.
Ah, Grandpa.
Just soak. Just soak in Biotex.
Stains, grass stains, collar and cut stains, ingrained dirt, soil and grime. Out they come and you don't stir a finger.
Just soak. Just soak in Biotex.
Biotex with natural enzymes is the pre-wash powder with the most enzymes to give you extra pre-wash power. Absolutely no rubbing, no color loss, no fabric wear. Soaking in Biotex removes the stains and dirt that washing won't.
Just soak. Just soak in Biotex.
Final revision. Well, nobody can ever say it's a task to be enjoyed. Something to be got over, more like. Darn silly name, Mrs. Smith. I wonder what her first is. Jennifer? Dolly? She's a fair-looking piece. Her lack of shadow is more likely to be a matter of physical than optical concern.
Squealed like a woman her did. A wounded woman. But when I went to pick her up, her had vanished, her hat.
Oh, 'twas nothing, sir. A mishap rather than an accident.
She's got a bandaged wrist. She hasn't a shadow. Some say
He's been bewitched to his death. I went away for a time, but I came back. I came back. I came back. Came back. Came back.
What is a middle-aged professor of philosophy to make of all this? If she had any dramatic ability, I, for one, would cast her as St. Joan, G.B. Shaw's, that is, not Shakespeare's or Voltaire's. A week passed. My relations with my reticent maid remained the same. I heard no more talk of witches, and the cases altered. The second Sunday came and went. The weather grew stormy. The days seemed shorter. There wasn't much more of my working holiday left. Mrs. Smith still fascinated me. I think that if I'd been a few years younger, despite the difference of class, and that does matter really, you know. I mean, what will one talk about after passion had departed? Anyway, I am middle-aged, was then too, so no matter. I must admit, though, the gowns the creature wore, so thin, so beguiling in that summer sun, why, they brought alive again in me feelings I thought I had left forever in youth.
Something on my mind? Something on my mind, you say? I have surely something on my mind. Been of a tremble all day and night. Shaken to meet in as I was.
Well, what then, Janice Shugborough?
What would you say to finding a woman stretched out on a flat tombstone at 11 o'clock at night?
Hey?
Hey, don't you laugh. Curse me acre, about 11, I suddenly saw uprising from one of the old flat stones what I thought to be a genuine appearance.
Well, what was it then, eh?
Well, as I told you, a young woman.
Did you talk with her, Jonas?
Did you have any speech with her, Jonas?
40 years I've been sexing on God's hate of her. I never ever...
Did you say anything? Did you,
I cried out, that's all. I said, who be there? Who be there?
A brave lad, our Jonas.
And she tucked up her petticoats and fled.
Oh, you were an appearance likely.
Oh, I was afeard, I can tell you. section for 40 years. Had she nice legs under them petticoats, Jonas?
Well, they fair twinkle as she ran.
Who was she then?
Well, she ran like a startled doe. The moon were no out to my eyes, but a young woman she looked like to me.
Probably some mourning mother or wife.
Probably one of the courting couple.
Mourn her? No, he had no bearing since Jake Mills. And there was none to mourn him. And do the grief-stricken pick up petticoats and run irreverent like cross-guards acres.
Twasn't appearance after all.
Do appearances leave footprints in the mold? Do they leave footprints in the gravel?
You said it was too dark to see.
No, I said moon were no out, but the sun this morning before early celebration.
You should have been a detective, Janet. The woman in white.
And they, not white. She may have been wearing some kind of pink sort of muslin.
What? Muslin? And no coat? On a night like last night?
Well, I said she might. 'Twere somewhat light and airy, any road.
And you let her get clean away. That weren't like you, Jonas.
You can laugh, but she gave me a start.
You know, talking of women young and pretty wearing things like muslin, when I was a lad... Now then, not in front of Flossie, my barmaid. Now, I reckon...
My own mind was adrift from talk. I had laughed myself out of the idea that Mrs. Smith was a witch, but suddenly I thought myself wondering whether she couldn't be a vampire. I knew a little about vampires, and I'd never believed in them anyway, but in fiction I knew they were supposed to suck the blood of the living and desecrate the graves of the dead. I cannot now recall just how serious or semi-serious my thought was, but it drew me irresistibly to the churchyard on my way back that night. I wandered about, and despite my skepticism, felt the odd bit creepy. Leftover schoolboy horrors of graveyards, I suppose. After all, it wasn't the witching hour. 2 hours from that. Quite close to the little gate that led into the parsonage, I found a stone lying horizontally on the ground. I don't know what made me peer at it and read. Sacred to the memory of Herbert Smith of this parish, unaccountably smitten on the 19th of July, 1795. And Enoch walked with God and was not. Also, Phoebe, wife of the above, in death they were not divided. Better be getting back. The next night, she looked more beautiful than ever. Oh, she was, I must own, desirable. I desired her. There's no point to dishonesty. She cleared away my supper things, and as she paused to open the door, I spoke. Phoebe? Better get home before the storm comes again. I believe it will again tonight. Leave the supper things in the kitchen.
Thank you, sir. I like to be home before the storm.
And now, I felt a feeling I cannot describe. Oh, it wasn't evil. No, it was, as I said, indescribable. I fell asleep in my chair after Mrs. Smith's departure that night. I was instantly awake and knew that a bolt had fallen somewhere close. I left the parsonage and hurried out. There were many of the village folk about, and I followed. The general trend of people went towards the church. The crowd stopped. By the very tombstone I had read. I say tombstone, but now there was no tombstone. The meteorite or whatever had fallen had found there a sure target, and had left but a ragged, gaping hole around which were scattered pieces of broken stone and a litter of dank earth. It was not, however, the wreckage of the ancient grave which filled our tongue. It was the unmarked, unscathed body of a woman, clad in a summer frock of pink muslin which lay beside it. Her face was touched with neither horror nor surprise at sudden death, but bore an expression of serene content. Dr. Jeffers was the first to kneel by her, and as he opened her bodice to test her motionless heart, I saw with a kind of awe that her dress was untouched by rain, her hair as neat as if she had just left her dressing table. Not until the doctor rose from beside the still form did I see that the untroubled hair was grey, and the placid face, though still smooth, was that of an aging, if not elderly woman.
God rest her soul.
God rest her body.
So, you thought so, too?
Yes. And Dr. Jeffers began to busy himself, commanding a bearer party to carry all that was left of Mrs. Smith to the shelter of the church porch.
In Biotex. Just soak in Biotex. Just soak in Biotex.
If you have wondered how to get your washing really stain-free, understand this. Biotex removes the stains and dirt washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Stains, grass stains, tiresome collar and cup stains, ingrained dirt, soil and grime. Out they all come, and you don't stir a finger.
Just soak in Biotex.
Biotex with natural enzymes is the pre-wash powder with the most enzymes to give you extra pre-wash power. Absolutely no rubbing, no color loss, no fabric wear. Use it for cotton, silks, woolens, synthetics. Use it to make new again. Soaking in Biotex removes the stains and dirt, but washing won't.
Just soak in Biotex.
Beyond Midnight is presented every Friday night at 9:30 by Biotex, the new soak and pre-wash powder. The program is adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McKay.
That's the horror for this week. You can find more from Beyond Midnight, past episodes of The Horror, and thousands of other old-time radio episodes at the website relicradio.com. You'll find our Shoutcast stream there as well, with even more old-time radio. If you'd like to help support this and all of the shows, visit donate.relicradio.com or click on the link on the website. It's the only way this show keeps coming to you every week. Thanks to those who have helped out. Thanks for joining me today. Be back next Saturday with a story from Dark Fantasy and another episode of The Horror.
Strange Tales.
RelicRadio.com presents tales of the strange and bizarre, the weird and the wicked. Stories not necessarily of the supernatural, but of the unnatural. Join us now for Strange Tales, featuring radio drama at its most mysterious and unusual. This is Relic Radio's Strange Tales. Thanks for coming around again. This week on the show, we'll hear from the Creaking Door, a series that aired over Springbok Radio in South Africa in the 1960s. Most of the surviving episodes are from the 1964-1965 run, sponsored by State Express cigarettes, as you'll hear. Our story today is from February 1st, 1965. It's titled Secret of the Mausoleum.
About this world of ours, and ever in search of the finest of its kind, we bring you the tops in spine chillers. The Creaking Door. Manufacturers of State Express 3/5 Filter King cigarettes take pleasure in presenting The Creaking Door. Good evening, friends of the Creaking Door. The Creaking Door is opening, so do come in. No. Then if your telephone rings in the dark, dim stillness of the night, don't answer it. It might be me. World class. Get the taste of new smooth State Express 3/5s today. We promise you, it's the smoothest cigarette you can get. It's a blend that has been perfected after years of constant research by our master blenders, and the recent development of an entirely new process which gives you an even smoother 3/5 smoke. We promise you, it's the smoothest cigarette you can get. Move in world class. Get the taste of new, smooth State Express 3/5s today. As a man goes through the agonizing throes of a nightmare, of trying to hold on to some semblance of sanity. Such a man is Bill Sampson, as he lies in his dingy bedroom near the docks. movements coming from the room upstairs. Coming down, as if the ceilings are safe. Let the water drip. Let it drive me mad. I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I can't.
You can. It is from the room upstairs. You can stop the drip.
Now I'm hearing voices. This is how it starts when the mind begins to snap. You hear voices.
You're hearing my voice.
I've got to see. Something's happened to the lights.
Why lights? We can only come close like this in the dark, Bill.
Bill? We know each other?
I know you. They're upstairs. See what's there.
Go upstairs. Wait. Don't go away. No one's here. I'm going mad.
But you're wrong, Bill. Listen to the door close behind me.
I went upstairs to the room above immediately. There was a man with a knife wound still fresh. He was dead. Hello, police. Hello, police. The telephone. It's dead too. Into the fog. Police. I'm about to find a policeman. Police!
Bill.
You?
Fancy calling the police.
There's been a murder.
Didn't you know?
Didn't I? Well, why? How could I know?
Because you murdered him.
What?
I saw you do it.
Why would I want to kill a stranger?
Why?
Unless I was...
Mad.
Who are you? I can't see you.
Does it matter? We are in the darkness and in the fog.
What when the fog lifts?
It will never lift for us. Are you still going to call the police?
I don't know.
They'll never understand what drives you to kill. As I do.
As you do?
Yes. As I know you, Bill. Now go back to your room.
My room.
And then back to the room upstairs. Change to a suit of clothes and carry him down to the street.
And then?
I've a car. I'll help you hide him from the world.
But
Go on, Samson. Let me think for you. You prefer me to, don't you?
I don't know. All I know is I'm afraid. Afraid to think for myself. Afraid. She drove, and I couldn't see her face. I could only imagine it behind her black veil. But I could feel her thinking for both of us. And I could sense her presence, too, as if there was an aching nerve connecting us.
We're there, Bill.
Where?
Where the dead sleep.
A cemetery?
Yes. Carry him in your arms behind me as I show the way.
I carried him into the fog. Along the path that ran between rows of graves. He was light in my arms.
Yeah, Bill.
It's a mausoleum.
Yes. Can you see?
Up the bed.
I'll strike a match.
3 open caskets.
There, first. Put him to rest.
Oh, wait. There's a date scratched on the plate. The date is today. Tonight.
Of course, Richard did die tonight.
Yes, but how?
Put him to rest. Drop the lid. He's hidden from the world.
But not from me. I shall always see him. Always. Yes?
I can feel you trying to think for yourself. Don't.
3 coffins. 2 more empty.
The nameplates are Henry and Robert.
And their dates?
Tomorrow night and the next.
How will they die?
You will kill them.
Why?
Because it is in your nature to kill.
But why? 2 more strangers I've never seen.
You'll do it for me. In gratitude.
Gratitude? For tonight?
Aren't you grateful?
You say you saw me in the room upstairs, but... But if I don't believe you?
Does it matter? After what's being done. You're getting out here. Goodbye. Until tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Where's it to be?
Outside the Beacon Club at midnight.
How will I know you?
I'll know you. Good night, Bill.
The tail lights were the red eyes of the morning, closing with the rising mists, disappearing from sight. The red eyes of morning. I've been having a nightmare. None of it had happened. It was a game that the imagination plays when the mind begins to go. It was hours before I found my way home. Found my way back to the room upstairs. Closed. The door was closed with dust curling from the action of the doorknob, as if the room had been sealed up for years.
You're at the wrong door, mister.
Joe.
Downstairs, you live number 3.
I know, but I...
Yes?
Who lives in this room?
Nobody.
You sure of that?
Nobody lives in there. Empty a year already.
Could I have a look inside?
Sure. It's only an empty room, you'll see.
Well, I heard some noises coming from it. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, my sippers. Hang on. There's the room.
It's empty.
It smells empty.
The furnishings are gone. The couch was here, and over here a lamp.
Are you furnishing the place?
I'm remembering it, as it was furnished. There was a straw rug on the floor, stained red and seeping through down through the floorboard, and a picture hung here. A wolf, howling at the moon. Picture by Sargent. These things... where are they? What have you done with the furnishings? Let me go.
Choking me like that. I'm going to call the police.
No, Joe, please. No, policeman. I'm not well. Thought something woke me and frightened me.
Oh, mice, I told you. They're in the walls, in the floors.
Yes, mice. I know that's what it was. Now I'm sorry. I lost my head. Forget it, please.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks. Downstairs. In the room below. In my room. It all became vivid again. As vivid and real as the bloodstains on the bedclothes. The dried patches of red rust on my pajamas and dressing gown. I went to her the following night. I tried not to, but the streets were one road leading to her.
You can't.
Couldn't help myself.
I know.
I came to see your face, if you have a face.
You think not?
I think sometimes you're a shadow thrown by my imagination. A shadow thrown by a sick mind.
Look at me with your own eyes.
I am looking.
And what do you see?
No veil. This time there's a mask, the smiling mask of a goddess.
The goddess of Ju. And a costume to match. See?
Yes. Why this masquerade?
It's carnival night inside the cafe. We're going in. Wear this mask. And put this in your pocket, close to your fingers. Yes. Henry prizes it most in his collection.
Henry is the name laid on that second casket.
Yes. He's an expert. You'll return the dagger before he misses it.
Henry's inside.
An honored guest. You know him by his laughter. The loudest laughter you hear inside.
I'm to do a murder for you?
For you, too. You're forgetting I know you, Bill. I know what drives you.
Yes, I hear it.
Like murder. That's Henry laughing. Bill?
What?
When you return his prize, do it only when he's laughing.
I did it like that. Exactly like that. In the mausoleum, we put Henry beside the first. We put him to rest with his cheeks and eyes still wrinkled in laughter.
Close the lid.
He looks happy, as if he's laughing at me.
Laughter was a scheme with Henry. A scheme to warm you to him. A way to disarm you. Close the lid.
And then what would he do?
Make you the fool and the victim.
As he made you?
Perhaps.
Are you making me?
You're daring, think for yourself.
No, but how did you know I could do what I did?
I know you.
Tell me about myself.
You sleep through the day.
Yes. I hide until night.
You're grown as a man, with no memory of boyhood.
No memory? No.
You're afraid of your hands.
What you said, you've described me. It's as if it's me talking. It's me telling me about myself. It's as if the agony inside me found its own voice.
I told you I understand you, Samson. I told you I understand what drives you. Come now, back to the center of the fog. I'll leave you there again to find your way home.
When is it to be for the third coffin?
Tomorrow. Robert's good.
Where will we meet?
I'll find you. Come. It's almost morning.
Move in world class. Get the taste of new smooth State Express 3.5s today. We promise you, it's the smoothest cigarette you can get. It's a blend that has been perfected after years of constant research by our master blenders. And the recent development of an entirely new process which gives you an even smoother 3.5 smoke. We promise you, it's the smoothest cigarette you can get. Move in world class. Get the taste of new, smooth State Express 3.5s today.
Well. Poor Bill. When a body meets a body coming through the fog. Let's get back to the mystery of the Mausoleum, shall we? The fog stayed another day. Another night. As heavy as it was and oppressive. The mind groped towards a light that wavered in the mist. A light that wouldn't hold still for even a moment's sanity. And questions that ran together as my mind fell to pieces. Was she real? A thing assembled by the imagination. A thing fitted together from broken pieces of sanity.
The third coffin is for Robert. Only Robert now, and they're filled.
And your revenge is complete.
You're trying to think for yourself again. You'll meet Robert in his home. Come, I'll show you where.
How will I know him?
He'll know you.
Know me?
He expects you. I told him to prepare for death.
Why did you?
To wring every suffering from him.
Not far away, at a townhouse with a stucco face melting in the fog. An unbolted front door. And music. Music like a dirge for the dead. A short, stumpy little man with eyes watching my approach. Go away. Go home. I'm home. I was told you'd expect me like this. Go home. I was told that you were prepared to die. No. Prepared to live. See. A pistol. Your hands won't be quick enough. Go home. Oh, but I must. She's put a spell over you. That's Rita's way, and her madness. Rita, you've given her a name. Forget her. Forget the murders. Run away and hide. Can I hide? If you go far. But you'll find me as she does. No more, I promise you. No more. You're free to walk the streets unmolested. Free to board a train. Go away and forget. You want to escape and forget everything, don't you? I don't know if I do. I don't know. I walked the streets, unmolested. Hours and hours with no one beside me. No voice. It was as if she, Rita, had evaporated into the mist. The sound of cars. I could see as if my sight was suddenly back, as if I'd wakened from a walking sleep. As if I'd snapped back to the night I ran from the room upstairs, screaming, "Police! Police! Police!" Police. Come on now, wake up, wake up. Wake?
Yeah, you talked yourself out and then you fell asleep.
Sleep?
Yeah. Sergeant Flanders brought you here.
Oh, what time is it?
Oh, it's early morning.
I talked myself out, you said, and
yes.
And you know about the last 3 nights.
Oh, it's all here on paper. What a story. What an imagination.
Imagination.
The goddess in the night in their room upstairs. The tomb with 3 coffins.
Oh, we didn't fill the last coffin. She told him to prepare.
Yeah, I know. He was ready with a pistol to shoo you away.
Well, he ordered me to escape, to forget.
Yeah, but you didn't listen to him.
No, I had to talk about it. I had to tell the world to stop me from murder.
Yes, you did. You talked about it. We've got it all written down here. Now, let's go into the main room. There's someone I want you to meet.
No,
It's a murder! Stop it! Keep him away from me! All right, Doctor, we got him under control. All right, now. Take another look, Bill. See who it is?
Well, it's... Oh, my head, it's... You told me to go away to escape.
This is Dr. Harvey. He's the owner of this sanatorium.
You're William Sampson. We haven't met before. I've been meaning to visit you, as I do all our patients. Patients? Yeah, you mean I...
Take it easy, Bill. You were charged with a homicidal attempt on your girlfriend. As a result of a psychiatrist's report, you were given a suspended sentence so long as you went into a sanatorium. It's for your own good, Bill. You've got an instinct to kill.
Yes, that's what I've done. Heaven help me. Rita, she made me kill.
Now, it's all in your mind, son. You haven't killed anyone. You've been in this sanatorium. Hey, wait a minute. When you escaped, did you...
She's there! Out there on the lawn. She's not in my mind. It's not. She stands like marble. The cold sun on her, looking like I'd imagined she'd look. A painted smile on her face. Her lips are too thin for laughter.
You're identifying one of our patients. That's Rita.
Quick, get to her! Rita, tell her what you made me do. That thing you said out there in the lawn.
All right, then, watch you. We better watch that young lady, too.
You know, Sergeant, Rita is my first cousin. We were all left a considerable amount of money by our Uncle Justin. The money to be divided equally in the case of one of us dying. Rita knew of Sampson's homicidal impulses. She played upon his imagination. Poor Bill.
What will they do to him? I thought it was all in his mind. The man's committed 2 murders.
They're both mad. They'll be put away for the rest of their lives. All they will have left is their imagination.
In all that fog and mist, not knowing who he was, or where he was going, or whom he was going to kill next. It's enough to make a man go out of his mind.
Taste of new smooth State Express 3/5s today. We promise you, it's the smoothest cigarette you can get. It's a blend that has been perfected after years of constant research by our master blenders, and the recent development of an entirely new process which gives you an even smoother 3/5 smoke. We promise you, it's the smoothest cigarette you can get. Move in world class. Get the taste of new, smooth State Express 3/5s today.
This is your host back again. Just a reminder of our rendezvous next week. going? Through the creaking door? Of course.
The manufacturers of State Express 3/5 Filter King cigarettes invite you to listen next Saturday at 9 o'clock when they will again present The Creaking Door.
That's going to do it for the show this week. If you want to hear more from The Creaking Door, just visit relicradio.com. Search it out. You'll find all the available episodes listed there. You can listen to those other past episodes of Strange Tales, thousands of other old-time radio shows, all the other podcasts, and our Shoutcast stream. There's a lot there. If you'd like to help support it all, help keep it free to everyone every week, visit donate.relicradio.com or click on the link on the website. Your support makes all of this happen. Thanks to those who have helped out. Thanks for joining me today. Be back next Sunday with another episode of Relic Radio's Strange Tales.